Hello everybody, Reggie Time here, and today this is a spam-free video other than to ask you to at least click the link beneath the video to take you to the Facebook page that I have linked. That is the end of all the spam, and it took less than 15 seconds. Now we're just going to play for 45 minutes or so, some Texas No Limit Hold'em on Bet365. That's it, we're in. Into the business. I don't intend switching tables in and out unless they are egregiously bad or they break. So hopefully we'll just have a nice consistent video without too much changing. Hopefully this table fills soon. I mean, we're happy playing heads up versus the 51V pip, but heads up I stink at. Really stink. But I'm obviously going to be better than the 5111. King 9 off. Button. Open. No. Ace 4 off. 4x open because we've got two unknown players in the blinds. And I think the chance of me getting 3-bet is slim. And it's just something I do when there are no regs to act behind. I just increase my open size. Here we flopped just a shitty little backdoor. So I decided to c-bet. I would have barreled any turn that improves my equity. When we get called on the 7 Queen deuce and the 8 hits a turn, I'm just out. Done. No more chips are going to go in. Here we're going to c-bet our backdoor flush draw. Backdoor straight draw, sorry. We can barrel a 6, we can barrel a 10, we can barrel a king, we can fold to the check raise. And this player just decides to lead for full pot on the river, which is just fine by me because I've got a very weak holding. Defend the king 10 off, not 3-betting versus a whale who only opened 11% so far because I think we're just not going to get folds. Here we've got the ace jack. We've got 2 fish behind but a reg in the blinds, so just going to 2.5x. Had there not been a reg in the blinds, I would have gone 4x. We flop top pair. A pretty dry board. A c-bet, of course. Ace jack. Don't need to bluff with it. Check it back. It's too strong to bluff with, really. Going to continue barreling the turn. Don't love the 5. If it's a bad player, it brings in a few 2 pairs, the odd straight, etc. But clearly we still have a value bet with the ace jack versus 2/3. Probably calling, but not loving it. And then he pots a river and we have an easy fold. I haven't got this player tagged, but he looks like some kind of reg of some description. Easy fold with the ace 3 off. I'm going to put session stats on this guy so you can see exactly what's going on this session rather than using historical data from when tables have been fuller. We've been doing a lot of checking back with this guy, then he's been showing some aggression. So we're going to check back this flop and raise the turn. Not that one. We're not raising that turn, but we're clearly not folding. Probably not folding the river. And that's why. This guy looks aggro, but he's only 3-bet 3% so far. We've got a fishy looking player. We're going to try the 4x, but I think I'm not as in love with it because we don't know much about this player yet. And sadly, our top left table has died. So we'll try and find another one. Ace King, the most trivial of 3-bets. Ace Queen, couple of backdoors. Pretty dry flop. Start with the C-bet. Again, when I had value before, I was going 70%. When I don't have value, I'm going smaller. I don't care. Very much doubt this player will adjust. Now we have value, we're going to size up. And he folds, sadly. Let's find another table. Which one looks best? We're looking for ones with broken stacks on. And by broken stacks, I mean less than 100 big blinds. There aren't any apart from this one. So this is the one we'll go for. Checking the Ace King. He stabs for just over 2/3 pot. He's been very, very, very passive so far. Post flop, almost never betting. Still think our hand's too strong to fold. We can just improve past some of his value. Hopefully that's what we've done. And bet river. Hope not to get raised because no one bluffs that spot ever. I've seen this air before. I'm not sure whether he's a reg. I'm probably making this video at a bad time. It's 10 to 10 in the morning on a Wednesday. Possibly one of the worst times to play on 365 is like the morning sessions. So maybe we're just not going to be in particularly good games. But it's the only chance I've got to make a video for the next few weeks is in the morning sessions because my work schedule has changed. It's now the college holidays, so I work different hours now until college returns in September. So I have less time to make videos. So I'm just going to have to play when the games aren't great, but that's fine. I don't think any of these regs that are tagged orange have edge on me. Maybe some do, maybe some don't, but overall, probably not. This table now is, of course, pretty terrible now this player's gone. But we'll just stick with it. If I wasn't making the video, I'd see the state of this lobby right now and I'd just be like, you know what? Can't be bothered. But we are making a video, so I'll have to be bothered. This player isn't reloading, so he's got kind of like fish reg stats. He's not reloading. He's probably just a wreck who tries a little bit. So that's the tag I shall give him. Give him the green tag. Do I want to stab my 4 here? This guy c-bets plenty enough, so I can just stab our 4, just try and get him to fold out some hands out of equity, but don't really want to continue. Not defending the big blind with the Queen 7 suited. I think people defend the big blind way too wide, multi-way, just justifying it with pot odds, etc. pre-flop. But it's not for me. Ace 5 suited. Could 3-bet here, could call. Again, limited information on this player. We'll just call for the time being. And we'll flop very nicely and go for a check raise. And obviously we're willing to run it here. We're going to get it in behind a decent frequency. Do I want a 3-bet versus a green tag? Nope. But that doesn't matter. We're just going to have decent equity. Even against a set, we're not doing terribly. Against a straight, we're not doing terribly. We can get value from worse draws. And we can also just take it down now, probably with the best hand. But again, not too bothered. Just happy to win the pot there and then, and happy to run it if I had to. Here we have another player up here who looks like he's like 29, 21. He looks like he's kind of trying. But again, he's not topping his stack up. So I suspect as hard as he is trying, he's probably not a winning player. It's not easy to be a winning player on 365. The games are really good, but the rake is fucking outrageous. It's like a 13.5 big blind cap at 20 and L. Which is obviously absolutely massively out of line. But it's still the site on which I have my biggest win rate because there's just so many truly terrible players. And frankly, not any good regs in the 20 L streets. There's regs, then there's regs that make money, but nobody would ever describe them as good. And I, of course, as always, include myself in that description. This guy only opens button 21% over a small sample. The easiest of 3 bets with the jacks. Won't love 4 bet coming from anybody here. 4 bets just like way underbluffed. But we would obviously have to defend cutoff versus button. And so as you can see, these tables aren't great. One bit of advice I would give wherever you play is to try playing at different times of day. And if you can, of course, I mean, lots of people won't have that level of flexibility. And then try to tailor your sessions around the times of day you think the games are best. Now, obviously, if you're just playing like Russian Cash or Zoom or something, the state of those games doesn't change significantly because they're just so saturated with like type players, regs, etc. That yeah, there will be slightly better times and slightly worse times, but it won't be that noticeable where it significantly shifts the needle on your win rate. Whereas here on 365, there's times where you can play and your win rate could very easily be 15 bigs 100, if not more. And then there's other times like now where maybe because of how high the rake is, you barely have a win rate because there's not that much like loose money at each table. This guy's obviously bad. This guy's obviously not good. And then these two are basically nits. And that's looking like it's the same at just about every table. I mean, this table doesn't look particularly good at all. So maybe right now, as I'm making this video, I don't have a win rate at this game because of the rake. If the rake was kinder, I think I would have a win rate. But it's not that kind, so we probably don't have a win rate. We want to go just under 5x this. So we're going to go to 12. Probably just stacking up, but really not loving it. But he will have 4 bets with ace highs, etc. So we'd have to just run it, I think. But I'm Wouldn't be in love with running it with just a pair of 10s. King Jack off. Here we've been 3-bet and 4-bet. We were going to consider defending versus a 3-bet, but when the cold 4 comes in, then obviously 10-9 just has to bow out. I did say at the start I wasn't going to table switch, but I am going to look for some tables with broken stacks because these tables are not good. Sadly, it looks like there's just the same 3 or 4 regs on patrol at every table. So we'll just leave it, and we'll probably just make a shorter video. Because yeah, like I said, I do think I'm probably still winning across these 3 tables, but not enough to make it fun. And frankly, poker should be fun. If it's not fun, then you either hope to be making enough money where it's worth going through the not fun phase, or play somewhere else, do something else. Because if it's not fun and you're losing money, then what is the actual point? Defender Jack 10 off is someone who so far has opened 7 out of 10 buttons. Versus high pot C bet. Again, we could consider check raising. Obviously, check calls on option 2. I think with the 10, we're just going to call. Turn trips. This is probably going to go check a lot. And if it doesn't, then we're probably going to be facing a river bet too. He does check back. Now we're just going to try and get called by ace high. He does call. And he did have ace high. Beautiful. I mean, this top table is an abomination. Thankfully, he's left. What I'm hoping happens is that some of these regs leave because they can't be bothered with the bad tables, and then their seats are taken by some recreational players. That's what we're hoping for. Wallapple 429 looks like he's got a name that could be a recreational player. Looks like a iPoker client generated name where someone hasn't had the hasn't bothered changing it. He does sit with 30 bigs, which is disappointing, but it does almost certainly mean that he's going to be no kind of regular. Down here, we've had an 85 VPIP join. Again, this top left table is pretty crap. I'm hoping one of these guys will just fuck off and leave some empty seats. Mibuptazi has gone with a really fucking stupid ISO size, and this is why he's a shit reg. This is just whatever. I mean, I don't see the point in doing this. You're not getting any value from your fish. You're not really encouraging the blinds to fold. It's just a shit play, basically. We have the easiest of call with 5s. Easiest of calls with 5s. Obviously, we're not going to be continuing much on this pot. In this pot, I'd be surprised if he's strong here, given his sizings so far. I mean, he could be, but I'd be surprised. We don't get to find out. But I think that's just a really bad play. When I see quote unquote regulars using tiny isolation raises, you just know straight away, well, this guy's not very good then. Even though this guy's been around forever and he definitely beats the games, doesn't mean he's good. Just means he's better than fucking Spoon Iron 146. Again, here another player joining, Moonwing254. Auto-generated name. We haven't got a big enough sample on this guy to know whether we should 4-bet bluff or not, but we're going to anyway. I'm going to squeeze the ace-jack. Get the other ace-jack through. Here we're just going to fold if this guy 4-bets and obviously just willing to play for his stack. When this guy doesn't call, when he just calls, and we get the 8-6-4 flop, I think we're probably just meant to no, it's not a 4-bet, is it? Ignore me being a fucking idiot. He's going to be pocket pair heavy. He's going to have some ace queen, maybe even some ace king. Do we start bluffing this hand already? I don't know, but I'm going to try. So the plan here is double barrel and then just give up. The first barrel, he's not going to fold pairs. He's not going to fold ace king. He's probably not going to fold ace queen. And I don't expect that to work. So we go with the second barrel, expecting pairs to still continue, but now fold out ace queen, ace king, etc. And if we get shoved on, we have a very easy call, but we just get it through. This is interesting. Pocket eights. Don't want to 4-bet the hand. Don't really want to fold it with this guy in. I think we're going to be protected here because my bupta just... this is really awkward now. Because my bupta's uncapped, he can still have the aces, kings, queens, etc. But I think I'm just going to be all in and hope he just has ace, king, ace, queen, king, X, and just folds. This could be a mistake. He hasn't snapped, which is nice. And the whole situation was very nice until he turned a 3 on us. It was only a small pot, though. Yeah, that was interesting because we've got a good hand versus his range, clearly, as was demonstrated. But, we're not in great shape versus the top of my bupta's range. But happy how we played the hand. Just didn't work out. Here we have the easiest of squeezes with the ace-jack suited versus the button open and someone who is clearly a Wales small blind cold call. Willing to play for all of it here if he asks us to. I'm a value here, would probably want to go quite big versus this player, so my bluffs are going to want to go quite big too. Obviously, we're bet calling off here. No need to. And we would have got there. Versus this player, we're not folding yet. We're not folding turn. And are we leading river or check raising? I think we have to lead. Do we? This guy so far has met the river twice. No, we're going to go for a check raise against this guy. We want to try and win a big pot. And we don't win a big pot by leading. And we don't win a big pot by check raising, but I still think versus that player, it was a correct line. Versus other players, I think just leading on the 4-liner because they're going to check back so many hands. Here we're just going to call because we want to play a pot with this guy. You see me fold some pocket pairs in the small blind already, but this time I want to play because of this guy. What's my Bupters C-bet multi-way? C-bet flop multi-way, just 30%. Happy to just fold pocket fives versus what's likely to be a remarkably value-heavy range. He does check back the turn though, but it doesn't mean say he wasn't value betting a hand like pocket eight or something. But when he does check back the turn, I'd check back turn raise river again. Don't understand that unless the river somehow improved him. I can't imagine him checking back too many strong hands on the turn when he wants to build a pot versus a whale. So this guy is a weird player. Don't think he's particularly good. I don't think he'd win anywhere except bet 365. Let's put it that way. So as you can see, thankfully, after years and years, I've managed to erase what I believe were a lot of terribly bad habits from looking at GTO Wizard and watching content where people are trying to demonstrate GTO concepts and GTO strategies. I play very much in soft games all of the time. I just don't play in boring, nitty type games. And basically, I like treat poker as if I'm playing live with bad players now, and I just play hands pretty much in vacuums. Just kind of mostly do what I think my hand wants to do. Don't give too much of a fuck about balance. I do a little bit, but not massively. Don't give too much of a fuck about protecting my ranges, etc. Because I just don't think you need to, even against like these shitty regs. You know, you don't need to be playing fucking high level poker to do fine against them. You just need to not be fucking spewing and fucking monging around, and you'll do just fine. And then you'll obviously always do fine against these types. Sadly, soft games are getting harder and harder to find on mainstream sites, which is why I'm more involved in the like private game online scene now, because there aren't that many good options on mainstream sites. Even something like Sky Poker that used to be soft, since they moved to iPoker, I mean, yeah, there's Fisher kicking around. Of course, there is. It's beatable, but you're not excited about it. You're not like, oh, can't wait to go on another session on Sky Poker against a plethora of really boring shit regs and then the occasional fish. It's just boring, frankly. King Jack, we're going to kick off with this C bet here. We're just going to go small because he's a fish. And I'm not worried about him like overreacting to anything. Jack of spades on the turn. We increase our equity. But given how quickly he called, I don't think he's going to be folding very often, and it would be a shame to get check raised. We revert a king, and if he leads, yeah, we're just obviously always calling this size. Could we raise? Maybe. But maybe not. Right, so he's check back flop and he's bet pot on the turn. Good for you. we are getting bluffed there some of the time, but not frequently enough, in my opinion, to call a pot size bet. Our hand can't really improve. We're just going to be playing guessing games, etc. We could maybe just call turn and fold river because he will have plenty of give ups. Look, he's got a 93% won at showdown when bet river. So maybe we can call there because we can just like fold 100% of range on river. Oh, well, 100% of bluff catches on river, sorry, versus such an enormous fucking mess of a player. 93% won when bet river. What an absolute hairy minge. Yeah, we've had 2 more Regs join the pool. We've been recording for 30 minutes and I'm just not grinding these pools at the moment. I mean, we've had 2 more. This Mickey T Master, whatever he's called, and this guy. We've got 30 minutes in. That'll have to do because, yeah, I'm not grinding egregiously high rate games where there's 3 shit regs at every table. It's complete waste of time. And that's funny. Fuck you, me bukta. That's funny. Did that cunt cash out? Oh, fucking grow up. Says a man who cashed out. Well, tell you when I didn't cash out. I didn't cash out aces versus ace king. Another cash out here with the set versus king 9. Fucking grow up, you absolute cunt. Yeah, we're out of all tables now. And I'm glad to see the back of this session. Thanks for watching, everybody. Click the link beneath the video and we'll try and make one another day when games are better and I'm not as critical of the game. Take care and bye-bye for now.